and welcome to this session. My name is Julie Mutunga from the APAM Secretariat. My guest today is Madam Mary Kimanzi. She's the Minister in the Department of Finance and Planning, Makueni County. Mary, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
So this session is for the African Association for Public Administration and Management for the Public Sector Financial Management Program held at the Kenya School of Government in Mombasa, Kenya. So this program has brought in public servants from across the continent. We have 6 African countries represented at this forum, and our guest of honor was the Honorable Governor from Makueni County. And with him, he has his team and our guest for today. So we will be asking Madam Mary a few questions in her capacity as Minister for Finance and Planning, in line with our theme for the week. So my first question is on citizen participation and inclusivity. So I would want to know, what are your thoughts on how to handle the increasingly aware citizens and the citizens who are becoming more informed about policies and processes in government? How are you handling this in your county? How are you ensuring that you are properly accountable and you are delivering the services that you have promised to deliver to your citizens?
Thank you. As a county government, we embraced citizen engagement from the beginning. We involved them in the initial planning documents, and we ensured that we are applying what is in the constitution in the county. Of course, over time, they've become very informed, their demands have become more, and I think our leadership has also been quite open to ensure that happens. At times we get to a point where we ask ourselves, aren't we opening too much? And these people getting too empowered? Mm-hmm. But the leadership, actually our governor keeps telling us, if you're doing the right thing for the people, you shouldn't be scared of them. Mm-hmm. And that's why you heard him talk about the people's government, mm-hmm. which is a people elected government from the village level, mm-hmm. and they call their meetings and discuss their development, and they can challenge us of the things that they want done, the things that are not being done the right way. And so we have learned with time that if it is what citizens want done, then it has to be done. And they are getting empowered shouldn't scare us. It should enable us to be able to deliver better and be able to offer better services to the people. The governor has dared tell us he would ask the people to vet us, say whether this minister should come again. And while we were scared, we still thought, if I work well, why should I be scared? I should let the people, have the freedom to say we are being served well. We've been to meetings where they kind of say a certain officer is not serving them well. And, if you follow up, you'll find there's a problem. So we do not get scared. We are learning to work better, and we are learning to know that the people have a say in what concerns them. Yes.
Great. Lucky people of Makueni government. They are very, very much empowered. So you have said that you have barazas at the local level where they discuss the issues, and to what level are they actually implemented, and how does that impact your budgetary process? Because there are some issues that may come up at the baraza level that have not quite been budgeted for or have not been accommodated. How do you deal with such arising matters?
Okay, what we have done first is to set aside a budget for each ward. And so as the people meet and discuss, they know the kind of a budget they are looking at. Initially, we had 18 million. Right now, we have 33 million per ward. And so when they sit to discuss whatever they need from the village level, it is escalated to a sub-ward level. It is escalated to a sub-ward level and all the way to the county level. Through those processes, the people are kind of prioritizing what is it that they want done. And so based on the amount of money, and because we do some simple pre-feasibility just to assess how much money will go to the projects, then we are able to finance based on their first priority, up to where the budget meets the projects as prioritized. So that's how we do it, and that ensures that the people do not compete over nothing. They know they are number 1, they are number 2, they are number 3, and so if we finance up to number 4, for example, then the following year, unless their priorities change, then we continue with the lists. But if they change the priorities, then we finance the new priorities. Of course, over time, we've realized that some what we call clusters, and cluster is a group of villages. If you listen to the governor when he was talking, he talked about a village meeting, which is right at the local, a few homes meeting together. Then a cluster, which is a few villages, like 10 or so, coming together. Then from cluster we have sub-ward. Then from sub-ward we have ward, then we have the sub-county, and then we have the county forum, where people present their needs. So we've realized that over time, we financed a lot of the clusters, but a few have been left unfunded. We have like around 47 unfunded clusters. That has come because as people sit to prioritize and discuss, somehow some people are left out because they don't come for meetings, or they are not vocal enough to be heard, or probably we fail as leaders not to listen to everybody. And so we have kind of changed the strategy now also, so that we can be able to reach the clusters. So we are now going to have, actually we have already worked on community action plans, where we caused the clusters to sit, talk about the development that has happened, where nothing happened, and say what they need done. And we've set a budget specifically to go to cluster budgeting, and then from there we will be able at least to meet every cluster that has not been met. So that's how we try to balance, and we ensure the people are the ones who decide. The people are only guided by a government officer on what they need to do. So normally that's what we do, to try and balance the interests and ensure that the budget is within the plans that we have.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So kind of a bottom-up approach as well as a top-down kind of approach, and that ensures inclusivity and everyone has ownership in the budgetary process. So.
Yes, and sometimes you see like at the village, people don't need to move, they're just there. But when you're getting to the sub-ward, to the ward level, people have to travel. So we normally ask the teams to ensure that the teams traveling, and our deputy governor is very passionate, and she gets to be awarded for being a women support system this coming Friday. She normally advocates for this. So as they move up, and as they travel to discuss their development at the higher levels, we encourage them to ensure that there's a representation of women and men, and not just women, but is it women, youth, or women the aged? So that is the kind of a thing that we have been trying to support. Thank you.
Okay, great. So for your county, the COVID-19 pandemic brought with it an array of challenges that were both national and county level based. So we have had a lot of media presence and media coverage on how funds were not properly used, or there's some sort of contention in that. Basically, it's just brought a lot of scrutiny onto budgets. So in your opinion, did the pandemic bring about more scrutiny into PFM processes, or did it just expose them to public outside? Was this existing before, or did now it be occasioned by the COVID-19, in your opinion?
I think all the time we've experienced scrutiny of public budgets, finance, bookkeeping, the way we do things. So I wouldn't say it's anything different from what we've seen in the past. Although the audit was done by, or is it a review, by several people. Like we had the controller of budget look into the funds. We had the Senate requesting for audit of the funds, which was done by the Auditor General. And so it felt like there were many people looking at how the funds were used, which is in order. In my opinion, public money should be properly used and properly accounted for. So even and I think there was a third audit, I can't remember who did it. So having people with an interest to know how the money has been used is quite in order. And it may have come because people wanted to be sure that the COVID money has been used properly, because again, like